Raidernation. It's your boy Graphk Raider, man. The views expressed here are Graphk podcast. Business is zooming with my little brother B. We got a special guest today, my bro, Mitchell Renz, the Las Vegas Raiders report. What's going on with you, brother?
What's going on, Raidernation? I'm glad that I got the invite. I'm literally sitting here in my car, so I'm glad I can sit down and talk Raiders with some good friends, and hopefully we can get a beer or something soon.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna be that way soon. We got to work. Bro, I've been in the gym every morning at 5:30 in the morning, man. You got to come rock with me at some point, bro.
You got better abs than I do now.
Nah. You got the abs. Yeah, that's what I'm working towards, man. But what's new?
You haven't seen quarantine body. That's a whole different animal. So that's why I've been plugging. That's why I've been plugging Panda Sups as much as I have, because I need it. I'm telling you. But no, man, nothing really going on. Just still doing a lot of news rumors. Literally just had a video go out on the Las Vegas Raiders report. Just trying to keep it fun, trying to keep the nation as involved as possible. And you know, it's crazy to think that football is about 3 weeks away, and it just doesn't really feel like that. I am hoping I can go to the game in Carolina, though. That would be pretty dope.
I just looked up tickets, and I was trying to see, but they're only doing 20,000 fans, so I don't know how that's going to work. But, yeah, hey, if you go, bro, let me know. I'm going. I'll go too, bro. For sure.
I got a deal with North Carolina Raidernation, and they want to have me out there and, you know, party it up, have a good time. But at the same time, if they can't host parties at certain places like venues and stuff, then I won't go out there. So if North Carolina, if the laws in North Carolina allow people to go to bars, I'll be there.
Oh, no, bro, they are. In North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, they're acting like ain't shit going on. So trust me, I was just in Atlanta for like almost a month, bro. They didn't care. So, yeah. But hey, shout out to my bro, man. For those who don't know, you know, I got a lot of knowledge from my little bro, man, with this whole podcasting and blogging and all that good stuff, man. Congrats to the 50K subscribers, bro. I know you worked your ass off for that. You know what I'm saying?
Big ups on that, for sure.
That's a blessing, man. You know, that lets you know that the nation is really rocking with you, man. With all the crazy stuff that people say sometimes, my bro still has 50,000 subscribers. That means that the nation supports my bro. So y'all gotta salute him for that, man. For sure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, I appreciate it. The nation's been like my family, and you know, you're like the main reason why I'll always say that. I wasn't a Raider fan until I went to Oakland, where you can actually meet some true diehards. Like, you know, I don't got it tatted on me. I don't got it tatted on me yet, but there will be a day, and I'm hoping once we get to 100K, I'm gonna find some guy that does really sick Raider tattoos, and we'll get something on me.
Well, there we go. What's up, B? What you got? You got some news for us, man? What's going on in the nation today, man?
Oh man, I'm just excited for the season to start, man. You know, I know today the Raiders opened up. You know, Mark Davis did kind of the opening speech. So, you know, the Legion Stadium is officially the Death Star now. And I'm just excited to see those guys, you know, work these next few weeks until the season opener, you know.
Yeah. You see Carr come out, he ran out on that field like it was a game, man. I'm like, I know it was a scrimmage. But he ran out there like we was about to take the field today, bro.
Yeah. And one thing that I like that Carr's doing, and I'm not sure if you mentioned this before, but he's wearing the left arm sleeve, you know, and remembers Kobe Bryant. You know, Kobe was always a big inspiration for me growing up. So, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, tribute to pay to the late great, you know, Kobe Bryant. So
most definitely.
Hopefully Carr has that Mamba mentality, because if he does, then we're gonna be okay this year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
For real. So I seen a report that broke out. I'm gonna ask the bro Mitch real quick. Bleacher Report. I know a Raiders source came out and said something about, you know, pretty much Ruggs will be playing the AB role this year, the point guard of the offense per se. I know that's kind of, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on the young boy. He's a rookie. But, you know, speed-wise, and I think he has the total package. He's looking great in camp right now. But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I can't say this. I've never seen his package. Maybe you have. But in terms of his on-the-field play, I know that they are going to move him around the field a lot. There was like a report that came out that said that he was going to play slot. He is going to play a little bit of slot, but he's mainly going to be that Z wide receiver. The bottom line is this. The way that the Raiders are going to use AB was he was their best offensive weapon. Henry Ruggs at least gives you that ability, a lot like a Tyreek Hill, where the more you move him around the football field, the more you're going to be able to see these defenders who are going to be locked in on him, because you can't have a guy like Henry Ruggs with the amount of speed, talent on the field, and not almost like put like a box in one or a quarterback spy or a spy on him. That's going to help out our quarterback Derek figure out where certain guys are going to be, if it's man, if it's zone, and he's going to be moving all over the football field. So I'm really excited to see what he's able to do.
Hey, if Rico makes the team, that would be crazy, man, to put a package together with him and Rico Gafford on the field at the same time. Bro, there's no corner or safety that can catch those guys, man. That'd be crazy.
It's a lot of speed. I think, though, if Rico really wants to make the team, it might have to be as a punt returner. So right now, the 4 guys working as punt returners for the Raiders are Nelson Aguilar, Lynn Bowden Jr., Jalen Richard, and Rico Gafford. What's really going to be interesting, though, is if they keep 7 receivers, I think then Rico makes the 53-man roster. But with the 16-man practice squads now, if you have guys like Marcel, Rico, and then Keelan Doss, if they hit that practice squad, I don't know if they make it through waivers. I think somebody else will come pick them up.
I mean, I think Jacksonville may even come back and get them.
Yeah.
So
you don't really know. They can get.
And the crazy thing is, though, man, Zay has been looking really good. He's been looking really good out there. Like, I've been hearing really great things about Zay Jones. His speed is insane as well. Like, he's very fast, man, and he looks like he's built a lot of chemistry and rapport up with Carr, man. What's your thoughts on that?
So with Zay, the one thing that Zay always had, even his time in Buffalo, he was a really crisp route runner. And when you go back and look at, Mayock, when he did a lot of the stuff at the NFL combines and stuff, he had Zay Jones as a top 5 receiver coming out of the class out of East Carolina, who just filled up the stat sheet. I mean, I believe he had 157 catches his final year or something crazy like that coming out of East Carolina. But good route runner. I just think that it takes a little bit time to get used to Gruden's offense, and he came halfway through. The one thing that I will always tip my cap to Zay this entire offseason, where a lot of these other players weren't doing certain things, he was out there working with Derek. So I think it showed, but I'd be lying to say that I want to rely on Zay Jones to win football games this year, because if we do, that means Bryan Edwards isn't stepping up. That means Henry's not stepping up, Tyrell, and, a lot of these other guys like Slot Machine getting dollars,
Speaking of receivers, hey, B, who are you most excited about right now, man, on our receiving corps?
To be honest, I'm gonna have to go with Bryan Edwards, but I don't think, with him, I don't want to say that put too high of an expectation. I think that year 2, year 3 is gonna be more, getting adjusted to football speed, right? Because that's what a lot of people coming from college into the pros say, that everything's very fast. So I think with the rookies in general, but they got to get caught up with with the football speed, but also I'm also excited for Ruggs too. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited for both of them, but I mean, I had to say Bryan Edwards. There's been a lot of high praise with him. I know you've said multiple times that you think that eventually he's going to take Tyrell Williams, spot.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested to see his development overall over the year.
I mean, he's already got lofty expectations on him, man. When they compare him to Monte Adams and Mike Williams, I've heard a lot of T.O. I mean, that's insane, man, to be a rookie and already getting those kind of labels put on you, man. What do you think about Bryan Edwards, Mitch? What's your take on him, bro?
Well, I mean, this is definitely like hype season, right? And it's even hype season times 10, because we can't actually see these guys in preseason. But the video I put out today on Friday was my grades, my training camp grades, and the highest grade that I gave out was Bryan Edwards at an A+, because you can see the talent. It's clear at 6'3", 215 pounds. And one of the things that Gruden really liked was he did come out of South Carolina, which doesn't have too much hype, I'll say, in terms of college football. Yeah. But he's number 1 in receptions, number 1 in yards all time, 3rd in career touchdowns, and he played in the SEC. I like guys that play out of the SEC, especially when you're, playing 4 years of SEC football is very hard to find. And you see a lot of reports out there, like Mike Mayock said, he had a round 1 grade on him, but unfortunately Edwards had a pre-combine injury. And what it's starting to remind me of a little bit here, and I agree with, everything B said, where I don't think you can put too much on him this year, because it is tough as a rookie. I mean, you look how many times even first-round rookies, they can't get it acclimated right away. It's tough. But I do think he is going to push Tyrell Williams. I do think that he's going to really be able to show what he's got. And it reminds me a little bit of the Darren Waller hype. I mean, think about how much hype there was last offseason around Darren. There are just certain dudes who can just do things that
but he lived up
other
to
guys
it.
can't.
He lived up. He lived up to it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Brian's going to come out and catch 90 balls, but I do think the Raiders want to get Bryan acclimated because right now, I believe the Raiders have the 6th worst cap space in terms of 2021. They have minus $16 million. If you get rid of Tyrell, that saves 11. Insert Bryan Edwards, and then you're ready to rock and roll. I mean, if you're telling me right now I can save 11 mil, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, in a perfect world right now, Bryan Edwards comes in, he shows his ass. Amik shows his ass. So Joyner and Tyrell are gone in the offseason. That saves us damn near $20+ million right there alone. Mm-hmm. So that already takes us out of the hole.
What kind of podcast is this? We're talking about packages, and now you're talking about rookies showing their ass.
Hey, man, it's the Hennessy, man.
This is a whole different kind of a whole different kind of black hole.
Hey, Mitch, I had a question for you. You kind of touched on Waller for a second. With all the new weapons.
Pause.
With all the new weapons this year, right?
Yeah.
And the 3 tight end packages we're going to be running. Obviously, we brought in Witten and and we got a lot of people through the draft. What do you foresee projection wise with Waller? Like, you see him still getting 90 catches and getting over 1,000 yards, or do you see his production potentially dipping because we have so much more versatility on our offense?
Yeah, I think the numbers of Darren do come down a little bit. I mean, he had 90 catches, 1,145 yards. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of target share that he did get early on. And, a lot of those numbers came pretty early in the season. If I were to anticipate targets, I still think Darren's the top guy in terms of targets. I still think that he's going to be the top receiver in terms of receptions. But that also goes back to John Gruden's system. It also goes back to, Derek Carr. His top receiver the last, 3 years has basically been a tight end. Jared Cook, sure, Jalen Richard tied Cook in 2018 with 68 catches. But Darren, to me, I think still gets around 70, 75 catches, probably 900 yards. And if he can improve on the touchdown standpoint, because there's
no reason. Got 3 last year, right?
Yeah, only 3. I mean, there's no reason why somebody at 6'6", 250, 260, they're going to be in the red zone more, that he's going to get some more touchdowns. But I think it's the exact same thing with Max Crosby. People always ask me, is Max going to have 10 sacks? And I'll say no, just for the simple reason that there are more mouths to feed. We have a better offense. We have a better defense. And the way that the Raiders are going to attack this year, they can beat you in so many different ways. And it's going to be fun to watch. Yep. But Waller is still, to me, going to be the number 1 option.
Yeah, last year, Waller, everybody knew where the ball was going. They knew where the ball was going, man, because we had a depleted receiving corps. I mean, at the end of the day now, Jacobs punched the ball 60 times this season. You know what I'm saying? So
that ain't happening.
I know, but at that point, it's like, okay, the ball needs to get around everywhere. It's hard. I see the 900 yards. I think that's reasonable.
I think that if he can increase his TD red zone production, that's going to help us a lot, because that was a big issue for us last year. Is we could move the ball, but then when it got to getting in the red zone, we couldn't convert. And so I think if his numbers do dip, kind of like you're saying, which I agree because of all the weapons, but if he can increase those, his TD production, I mean, it's going to help us out a lot.
Yeah, and when you got Foster in the red zone, I think Witten's going to get a few this year too, man. We got a lot of red zone targets, man. I mean, look at, Bryan Edwards. They're going to throw him in there for the 50-50 balls. So, that red zone.
The back shoulder fades.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky.
I was going to say, I seen an interview with Derek Carr, his brother, and Jones, who we had a few years back. And he was kind of talking about the back shoulder fades and just being kind of comfortable with him, and how Bryan Edwards kind of reminds him of him, so.
That was kind of a Crabtree situation too.
Yeah. I mean, Crabtree was his go-to when he needed to, move the chains on third down, you know what I mean? But
yeah. Okay, two questions.
Red zone's about finding those big guys. I don't mean to cut you off, but no, I know Brian. One of the great quotes that I saw when it was around the draft with Bryan Edwards was 50-50 balls or 80-20 balls. And this team needs to be able to convert 11th last year, I believe, in total yards, but it was like 24th in terms of red zone conversions. So that's just not going to get it done. But Bryan Edwards is going to step up. And then we'll see what Tyrell can do. When I interviewed Tyrell a few months ago, he was like, the feet are still kind of bothering him. The reports right now that her feet are still, not 100%, which scares me a little bit. And if Tyrell's not ready to go, at least we got Bryan. So.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' thoughts on Damon Arnett and all the high praise he's getting right now in camp? The secondary, man. Hey, even Carr is saying like, it's just refreshing to see how fast and how quick that defense looks right now. But man, the way Damon was on Ruggs' ass the other day. And some people want to say, Ruggs wasn't trying and blah, blah, blah. Man, look, Arnett looked great, man. He did not fall for that stutter step. He was on his ass. That full play for that INT he got in camp. What is your thoughts on Damon Arnett? Do you think that he could start this season and overtake Prince's number 2 spot?
So right now, he's running with the one-team defense. So right now it's been Trayvon Mullen and it's been Damon Arnett. And you can see the confidence. I watched the video this morning about, him being mic'd up and he's got that swagger. And I think when you're a rookie, as much, shit that he's gotten, from me included, he's been able to shut some people up, and he's looked great. I don't know if you saw the tweet from Chad Ochocinco that was like, I don't know who wears number 20, but that guy's got great technique. I've seen great technique from him. Everything that I've heard personally has been great, and I think Damon's going to show a lot of people that he can play the football and can play the position very, very well. But until I see it on the field, it worries me because it does remind me a little bit of Garyon Conley, where Garyon was this incredible athlete, incredible in practice, but it's a different animal when you actually lace him up and go out there on Sundays. So
I agree.
my hopes are high for this young defense, but Damon has at least impressed me. And I think one of the greatest things that I've heard anyone say about him was when Gruden compared him to Aqib Talib, and just that is his toughness and his ability to go out there and, compete. And that's the difference maker, because one thing Garyon Conley never did was want to compete.
Hey, for those who don't know, my bad, B, real quick. For those who don't know, when Chad Johnson left that Twitter post, he was actually referring to himself because he was training with him in the offseason. So he was just acting like he didn't know who Arnett was. He knows who Arnett is. But still, that's very high praise from an NFL legend, man. You know what I'm saying? So, well, go ahead, B. What was
I was going to say. So I was going to say, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, I like having younger guys out, on the outside cornerbacks. Only reason being is this is a young man's league, right? These receivers, they got the whole package nowadays in the NFL. They're fast, they can jump high, they're athletic. It's everything. So I feel like with older corners, obviously, you got your Richard Shermans in the league, and you got certain corners that are like tried and true, even in their, older age. But it's a young man's league. So I like having young guys on the outside who can keep up with these receivers in the NFL. But I agree with Mitch. He hasn't played an NFL down yet, so I don't want to be too high on him. But the fact that he is, having first-team reps over Amukamara says something, right? I believe Amukamara is like 31 years old. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. So we'll see. I think we're going to be running a lot of, for our base defense is going to be a lot of dime and nickel packages. You know what I mean? And so with, 5 and 6 DBs. So, and that's kind of how the NFL is nowadays. It's a passing league. So at the end of the day, we need as many, DBs in rotation as possible, whether that be corner or at the safety position. So I'm glad that we actually got some depth and we got some talent and we got some young guys, who, hopefully could bring a change of culture, in our defense, backfield. So.
All right, question, y'all. With Yannick, this was coming up. The rumors swirling with him, Clowney, rumors swirling with him. Where do y'all think our D-line is right now with Nassib, Key being depth pieces behind Klee, which I heard he's been looking really good in camp. Max, he loves Marinelli. I love to see where his attitude is with him. I think that Marinelli is going to bring the best out of both of those guys. I'm hearing Key's doing his thing too, but like you said, it's only training camp. We haven't seen any games yet. And I've heard Key be praised in camp before, and nothing has happened. What are your thoughts? Yeah. What are your thoughts or the chances? Right now, I know, the rumors came out again today about Ian Rappaport said that we're still in the mix with Yannick. We've been kind of, on the low, watching it, seeing where he's going, Clowney and all that. What do y'all think? Do you think that we need to grab somebody else for that D-line on the D end?
I want to say I hope not. However, you can never have too many defensive linemen, right? Like, if you ask me right now, would Yannick Ngakoue be the best defender on or edge rusher on our team? I'd say yes, he would be. I would take him over Max. I would take him over any player we have. He is that truly talented, 25 years old, 37 and a half sacks. I mean,
Yep.
on a bad Jacksonville team. And he was one of the reasons why that team was elite on defense back, 2-3 years ago when they were led by Blake Bortles.
A few plays away from the Super Bowl.
Few plays away from the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to believe, but, I also think a guy like Yannick could maybe persuade somebody, maybe like a Jalen Ramsey, who are good friends, to come over in free agency. But for me, the reason why I will say no, I made a video on Thursday about it, gave it 0 Chucky heads, Tucker will tuck that, is because if I'm the Raiders, I can't justify going out and paying Yannick, because the deal that I think that he ends up getting, when you look at a lot of the other deals that have just happened with, Bosa and Myles Garrett, and he doesn't get paid that much, but all these edge rushers, they're getting 5 years. So if the Raiders want to give up, I believe it's a 2nd and a 4th round pick plus pay Yannick 5 years. You're going to give him about $21 million, $65 million is probably going to be guaranteed. So
that's what Carr's get paid.
But what I'm saying is, like, would you do that? Because I do think Yannick is a better player, and I think Yannick is more of a Raider than Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
However,
do
I give Yannick 5 years, or do I make Jadeveon do a 1-year prove-it deal for 15 that's cheaper, and I don't have to give up draft capital? And if you go out and get a Yannick, that means to me you are giving up on Cleveland Ferrell, who has been looking better. And Carl Nassib might not be the sexy dude, but I'm telling you, he's going to be a good football player. And then, with Arden to me is that sexy car that you see and you're like, wow, that thing can go fast. The only issue is it doesn't have tires. And until Arden can learn how to use them tires, it's just a car sitting, on the sideline. So do I think Yannick and Clowney would help? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen? No.
Gotcha. Hey, B, what do you think about Malik Collins? How much, what do you think how he's going to change that defensive line? Look, this dude looks like insane. Like real talk, like he may be the best acquisition that we got in the offseason. I'm still a Littleton guy. I'm still going with Littleton, but like he looks insane, man. He lost a lot of weight. Them legs look like real life tree trunks. Like the dude looked crazy. And
300 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy though. But what do you think, B, about the line as well and with the Yannick situation? But Malik Collins, though, I think he already transformed that. He transforms that D-line already just with his presence alone.
Yeah. So going back to Yannick, I think when you and I were talking about this, they were talking about just trading a 2nd round, and he was on a franchise tender, I believe,
$17.7 million.
And so the thing is I don't like, me personally, my style is like build our team through the draft and think long term, right? And so if Mitch is saying a 2nd and a 4th, right, that's that much more, future investment for somebody, who's young and who's proven. But at the end of the day, we traded away Khalil Mack a couple years ago, and I think he ended up getting $65 million guaranteed money on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but point is I don't see Gruden. I don't see Gruden wanting to sign a defensive end. He's not too high on defense. He's more of his offensive guru. I don't see him signing a guy like that for extended period of time at that amount.
At that amount, I agree, but I have to disagree with you in that situation because he's been the one that's kind of been agging on for Clowney or Yannick. Like Mayock is a draft guru. Look, you don't want to give up draft capital because you have to trust your GM, and he's not shown any signs of us not to be able to trust him. But at the end of the day, I mean, when you can get a guy like that on your D line that can change things and he's only 25. Remind you, like when Mitch said, he's only 25 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to be somebody that'll be there. We can always move in Clee. If Mo doesn't work this year, I don't think you can move in Clee in the inside and put him over there with Malik Collins, and you got 2 D-ends with Max and Yannick, or Max and Clowney. I mean, it can work.
Yeah. kind of going back, and I know I've said this before. You know, when you look at like, you know,
the Hennessy, man. It's the Hennessy, y'all. My fault. It's the Hennessy.
No. It's all good. Kind of going back. If you look at when, you know, Seattle was kind of going through their Super Bowl run, they had a lot of guys on their rookie deals, and they had a lot of, you know, good draft picks, and that's kind of what brought the success culture to that, you know, to that organization, right? And I think that with Mayock here now, that's kind of what they're doing is they're trying to draft young guys and trying to get younger and trying to build through the draft. And I like that personally. You know,
don't jump out the window. Don't jump out the window right now.
Let me ask you all this question. I love the Raiders, but do you think that they are in win now Super Bowl mode? Yes or no?
No.
I think that at the end of the day, I think that they're looking at trying to get a playoff, you know, get to the playoffs. And then at that point, right, it's every Sunday, you know, any given Sunday at that point, right? So I think their goal is to get into the playoffs right now, and that's where their focus should be.
We just answered the question. That's what Mitch wanted, because he's basically saying if you're in win now mode, you go get a Yannick, you go get a Clown.
Well, yeah.
You know, right now we're not in win mode. So I agree. I think we should stay put, run with what we have. I think that we can get a wild card this season, and I feel like we can build on that. I mean, we're continuing to grow, and with all these young guys, like you said, B, Seattle was the blueprint. You draft well, you win with young players, and then, you know, you keep drafting well, and you can let them guys go when it's time to pay them big money. So I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. But Mitch, what were you saying? Is that pretty much where you getting to with that? You were like, look.
Yeah, I mean, do I think the Raiders can make the playoffs? Yes, I do. Do you need edge rushers to be able to go out and get back from Holmes? Absolutely. But if there's one thing that I learned last year, I'm going to give Mayock as many picks as I possibly can. I'm going to give him as many darts on that dartboard to throw and try to hit that bullseye, because you know, he's been able to do it so far. So as far as I'm concerned, like, let's continue to let him go for it. And the more cheaper guys we can have, that also allows us in the idea that if, you know, we do maybe need to pay a quarterback big bucks, or if we do end up drafting a quarterback, I mean, if we have all these really young guys, plus, you know, we got to figure out what we got in Derek. I mean, that's how the Seahawks were successful. They were paying Russell barely nothing. Patrick Mahomes, they were paying him barely nothing. You know, I mean, you look at a lot of these teams that are winning football games right now, it's because quarterbacks aren't making a lot of money. So, I mean, we'll see. But I think
they're able to spread that wealth.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Yannick to me is an unbelievable player, and I think he would absolutely help any defense he's on. It's just a matter of, I don't think the Raiders are going to do it.
Yeah. I don't think so either. I really don't. It'd be a great pickup, but long term, you want to keep that money open. Like you said, we're already 16 in the hole starting next year. We got to work a few things around and do what we have to do.
They can clear a lot of money. I mean, if you get rid of LaMarcus, that's $9 million. Tyrell, $11, that's $20. Gabe Jackson, there's another $9.6. I mean, I just cleared $30 million off 3 players, and you know, some people can say what they want. If Derek doesn't get it done this year, I mean, that's $20 million you're saving. So I mean, that's a lot of money. But
and then if Trent is continuing to be hurt and whatever, you have to restructure his contract, right?
It'll be tough. The only reason why I say it'll be tough to restructure his contract, so Rodney Hudson really restructured his, so he's only making 5.3 this year.
It's crazy.
But then it's like the next like 3 years or something like that, he'll make like a lot of money. But if you look at a lot of the contracts that the Raiders are doing, they're really setting up themselves for, I believe it's 2023. It's when Josh and with Max, with all the guys from last year, when they're due to get paid. So it's even like some of these veterans, they're going to have a lot of contracts that are going to be up. And if you're not playing well, then you're going to get shipped. And if you are playing well, you know, they'll bring you back. So, but like, it'll be interesting in 2 or 3 years. Let's see how the Raiders report's doing by then.
Hey, well, all the guys you just named have Raider tattoos, so they may take a little hometown discount. You know what I
mean? We'll see.
Hey, I haven't talked to my bro in a minute, man. I wanted to bring Mitch on and just holler for a little while. Hey, B, you got anything else you want to talk about, man? I know there's a lot going on in the nation right now. Any other things going on?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did want to ask Mitch about Rod Marinelli more recently was actually praising, Mo Hurst and Arden Key. I just wanted to see, kind of what you thought about them. Obviously with Mo, it looks like he's going to be starting next to Malik at defensive tackle. And then, for Arden Key, for now it's looking like he's going to be in rotation at end. But I just wanted to see what what your thoughts on both of them were.
Before I answer that question, I gotta ask you something. Where are you from? Because I haven't heard axe. I only hear that from like people from Jersey and New York.
Northern California, man, Sacramento.
Oh man, you might be a closet New Yorker. I don't know. So with Mo, to be honest, from what I've heard right now, Mo is actually the third defensive tackle. So they really like Malik and Jonathan Hankins, and the reason is because Malik has the ability to really get after the quarterback. There's not too many defensive tackles that have had success in terms of pressure rate or in terms of actually like sacking the quarterback than Malik has with Rod Marinelli. And then Jonathan Hankins is more of your run stopper. So I know the Raiders are really looking for versatility, and from what I've heard, they like Jonathan and Malik together. Now, for me, I'm a big Mo Hurst dude. I don't really think Pro Football Focus is like the end-all, be-all, but, last year Pro Football Focus ranked, I believe it was like 113 defensive tackles. Mo Hurst was ranked 28th. I mean, he was ahead of guys, like Ndamukong Suh, better than guys like Gerald McCoy. I mean, some pretty high-end defensive tackles, if you will, and I think Mo's going to be a good player, but at the same time, you're seeing this Rod Marinelli bring in his boys. That's why he brought in Daniel Ross, and Mo wasn't drafted by Mayock, and you already saw with like PJ Hall, he got the boot out there, and I'm interested to see what happens with Arden Key because he's not a Mayock guy either, and I think those guys will be on a little bit shorter leashes. But Mo to me is a player that's going to give his heart, he's going to give it his all, and I know what I can get out of him. With Arden, man, he's going to get run, and I think the Raiders really want to use him almost in a Benson Mayowa type role where he's on the field for like 30% of the snaps. I'm going to use the term NASCAR package where, all right, Arden, pin your ears back, go get the quarterback. Let's see some of that athleticism, and that's how they're going to use him. Yeah, I mean, that's how they're going to have to use him because he's not good in the run. I don't care what anyone says. He's not good in pass coverage, and not many defensive ends are, but Arden is athletic. And if you tell Arden, hey, stop thinking and just do this, that's when he's been the most successful. And, I mean, he actually looked pretty good before he got injured last year. He played in like 2 games, had 2 sacks. It's just injuries, and you need to simplify it for him. So he'll never be a 3-down defensive end, but 30% like Ben Samayo. And if he can get that 5, 6, 7 sacks and be fresh legs, that's how I think he's really going to be used.
One more question, man. This whole Mariota thing is just so like you get one day it's just great, the next day is terrible, the next day is terrible, and then the following day is even more awful. Bringing in Cardell Jones today for a tryout, Gruden loves his quarterbacks. I can't look too into it, too deep into it. But is he a camp body in your eyes, or is there questions on Peterman or Mariota, man? Because I've been hearing some terrible things out of Vegas and Henderson, man, about Mariota. Like, what have you been hearing, man, and what's your thoughts on that?
Mariota has not been looking good. So he looked good the first week.
Yeah.
Then there was like a report out there that his elbow was bad, and now Gruden's apparently going to try to fix his mechanics. And in terms of he looks good as a runner, yes, which is, of course, good to hear.
Yeah.
But I've heard he's looked very, very bad as a passer. I think he's already got 2, maybe 3 interceptions in camp, and he's been overthrowing guys. And I think the term that Victor Four was using when describing him was he was hitting gophers, which basically means he was like skipping balls or something like that, which I thought was pretty funny. But I'm not going to read too much into Cardell Jones. I've watched Cardell Jones. I've watched him out of Ohio State. Watched him in, CFL or XFL, whatever the hell he was just in.
XFL, DC Defenders, I believe. Yeah.
Well, I don't see anything in him. But if you were to ask me, would I rather have Cardell Jones or Nathan Peterman? I would say cut Peterman, save $2.1 million, move on from him. I know Gruden likes Peterman, but I mean, I'm not going to rely on Nathan whatsoever. And you're not going to get rid of Mariota. You paid him, $7 million this year. His incentives are really high. So, I mean, you're going to have to keep him. If you were to ask me what I would want to do from a 53-man roster standpoint, I would say you keep Carr, you keep Mariota as your 2 quarterbacks, get rid of Peterman, don't bring in anybody else, and then, like, you know, we're talking worst case scenario where Carr goes down or Mariota goes down. You bring in Lynn Bowden Jr., who played a little quarterback at Kentucky. That gives you an extra roster spot to be able to keep a guy like Rico Gafford. Like, if you'd ask me, do I want Rico Gafford or Nathan Peterman, I'm going to take Rico Gafford.
Rico all day, every day. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. No, I agree with that.
No, for real. You save money getting rid of Peterman. And I mean, dude, the guy's known for throwing, 7 interceptions in one game? Like was it 6, 7 interceptions?
His career is 3 touchdowns, 12 picks. It's a 50% completion percentage. But I will say this, he did look good last preseason. So I only know the numbers off the top of my head because I did it on a show. But in preseason last year, he had a 71.4% completion percentage, 471 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And I think he had 56 rushing yards and a touchdown. So, like, he looked good last year. And Gruden wants to be that coach that's like, hey, I can make any quarterback into a good quarterback. It's I think they're going to hold their money. I think they should be smart because if every NFL team that doesn't have a little bit of a question mark around quarterback isn't interested in Aaron Rodgers a little bit, you're fooling yourself. Because if you can tell me right now I can go out and get Aaron Rodgers for $20 million, because that's what it's going to cost, $20 million to get Aaron for the next 3 years, any NFL team's lying to themselves.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, here's the hoping that DC does his thing this year, because if not, I really believe that A-Rod is going to be a Raider. I mean,
well, and that's the thing. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Gruden's playbook is going to be the main thing. I know they're saying Carr, you know, has been doing really good, you know, regarding knowing the playbook and knowing how to, you know, control the offense. But obviously, if there's reports coming out about Mariota, you know, if he doesn't know that playbook and he doesn't know how to run Gruden's offense, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not going to be around, you know, for too long. But you got to give him a chance. You got to give him a chance. It's the coronavirus. You know, no preseason games. I mean, you know, it's going to be tough to learn Gruden's offense in general. So I'm not going to look too deep into it yet. But like, there is concern seeing that he's already just starting off pretty bad, man. We already knew he was going to be great with his legs. We knew that. You know what I'm saying? But to see that he can't – I seen that pass he threw Waller. He just threw it right in front of him. It looked terrible. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Oh, my
God, bro. Like, I'm going to send you it after this, and you're going to be like, you know what? Let's move on from him.
His technique reminds me a lot of – if you can – I don't know if you've ever seen somebody or if you've ever heard of the yips, when it's like a mental – like it's a mental thing. It's more of a baseball term, but – it's a baseball term when a catcher really struggles throwing the ball back to the pitcher. Yeah. And it's like a kink in the mechanics. And when I watch Mariota, it just doesn't look smooth whatsoever right now. But it's a crazy off season, and you know, you never know what you're gonna get. So
that's true.
Well, we'll save more money. We'll save more money letting him go next year than we would right now, because he's 7.5 guaranteed. I mean, next year we can let him go for nothing and we can move on. So
that's kind of what I was alluding to. I think we're going to keep him this year, but I'm saying if he doesn't pick up throughout this coming up year, if he doesn't pick up on Gruden's, you know, playbook, and I don't see him being around, you know, come next year. So
for sure. Well, Mitch, man, shout your stuff out, man. Let the people know who don't follow you already, man, what you do and where we can find you at, and let them know about the Raider Report. For those who don't know, they hear my voice before Mitch is on that show.
That's right.
I just had to throw it out there real quick, you know what I'm saying? But I do my bro's intro. I'm the one on the intro, you know what I'm saying? So Nation, shout out to my bro for making my song his intro to his show. But and that show is fire, man. I love it. I watch every episode. Let them know where they can find you at.
YouTube. You just type in Las Vegas Raiders Report. If you're into URLs, at youtube.com/Raiders Report. We're on Facebook as well. You can look that one up. I believe it's Just Win Baby Raiders on Facebook. But over 50,000 subs on YouTube, getting close to 50,000 likes now on Facebook. Instagram, Twitter, if you like the show that much, Venmo, at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you guys have any Raider questions whatsoever, my DMs are open. Just slide on in, and you know, I'm always happy to talk Raiders anytime I can.
There we go. Well, it's my bro, man. It's a blessing to have you on, man. We haven't talked on Zoom in probably about 4 or 5 months. You know, we stay in constant communication, though. You know what I mean? But it's good to have you on, brother, man.
I was gonna say, you know, it was definitely nice meeting you virtually, Mitch, and looking forward to grabbing a beer sometime this season. And I know me and Josh are going to be, starting a fantasy football league, man. So if you want to come on board and get whooped this season, just feel free, man. Reach out to Josh and let's go from there.
We're doing the Oak Las Vegas League, man. You got to come rock with us, man.
Oh man, those are fighting words. I don't know if you know this, but I got my start in fantasy football. So I've been playing fantasy since 2006 in my family league. I've worked with some pretty awesome, I think, people in the fantasy industry. So as long as I've been covering Raiders, I've been covering fantasy a lot longer. Now I pay a lot more attention to the Raiders than I do fantasy anymore because of work. But hey, if you want it,
you saying you don't want to get your ass whooped, or what's up? You he said I do this for a living.
I'm saying there's a lot of people that play fantasy football. It's just like anything, if you wanna play, you really got to be able to put a lot of time into it. And with me right now, work is so busy, and I always give my family league, that's number one to me. But I don't know. Let me see if I can figure it out. I'm giving you a shitty answer right now, but if I can fit in another,
I'll call you during the week. We'll catch up and we'll see where you are with it.
I just don't want to commit to anything that I can't give 100% to. That's just being real.
I got you.
You don't want to get his ass whooped. On that note, the views expressed here on Graphk Podcast, Business and Zooming. Hey, shout out to my bro Mitch. The Las Vegas Raider Report, man, is available on YouTube. Catch it on Facebook. He's on IG. He's everywhere. My boy lit out there, man. So y'all go check him out. We love y'all, nation. I'm going to be back with probably another video tonight because I do like 30 of them a day. Mitch knows.
Than I do now. You make more videos than I do now.
Hey, I learned from you, bro. I got to stay consistent with it, man. So, it is what it is. But shout out to my little bro, B. You're also going to be seeing a lot more from him. He's going to be doing his own videos on the channel as well. We're going to turn this into just more than just, look, I'm tired, man. So I'm going to have my bro come on there and jump, you know what I mean? So follow my bro everywhere, too. I'm going to put his IG and everything inside the description box. I'm going to put Mitch's as well. And y'all support all of us, man. We love y'all, nation. We out.